In the history of the long jump, one name resonates with a story of triumph, controversy, and what could have been. This is the story of Lutz Dombrowski, a man who soared to Olympic glory, only to see his career cut short by the political turmoil of his time. Born in 1959 in Zwickau, East Germany, Lutz Dombrowski was a product of the German Democratic Republic's legendary sports machine. From a young age, his athletic prowess was undeniable. He was tall, powerful, and possessed a natural spring that seemed to defy gravity. The GDR sports system identified his talent early, funneling him into elite training programs designed to produce world-class athletes. And produce, it did. By the late 1970s, Dombrowski was making a name for himself on the European circuit. He wasn't just winning, he was dominating. His technique was a blend of raw power and refined grace, a combination that made every jump a spectacle. In 1979, he leapt an astonishing 8.45 meters to win the European Cup, a mark that sent shockwaves through the track and field world. It was a clear signal. A new king of the long jump was emerging from behind the Iron Curtain. As the world turned its attention to the 1980 Moscow Olympics, all eyes were on the long jump pit. The event was missing some of its biggest stars due to the American-led boycott, but that didn't diminish the anticipation. The question wasn't just who would win, but could anyone challenge the ghosts of Olympics past, especially the legendary 8.90-meter jump by Bob Beamon in 1968. On that fateful day in Moscow, Lutz Dombrowski was in the zone. He was competing against his teammate Frank Pashik and the Soviet Union's Valery Podlesny. The atmosphere in the Luzhniki Stadium was electric. On his fourth attempt, Dombrowski unleashed a jump for the ages. He hit the board perfectly, exploded into the air, and seemed to hang there for an eternity before landing deep in the sand. The measurement came back, 8.54 meters. It was a new Olympic record at sea level, second only to Beamon's high-altitude miracle. The crowd erupted. Dombrowski had not only won the gold medal, but he had also become the first German to ever win the Olympic long jump title. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a testament to years of relentless dedication. At that moment, he stood on top of the world, the undisputed champion. But the shadow of the GDR's sports program looms large over this era. The state-sponsored doping program, known as State Plan 14.25, is a dark chapter in sports history. Athletes, often unknowingly, were given performance-enhancing substances to ensure East Germany's dominance on the world stage. While Dombrowski himself has never been directly implicated in a failed drug test and has maintained his innocence, the system he was a part of casts a complex light on his achievements. He has spoken about the supporting means provided to athletes, acknowledging the system's pervasive nature but emphasizing that his talent was genuine. The debate continues to this day, a difficult but necessary conversation about the ethics of sport and the exploitation of athletes. Regardless of the controversy, Dombrowski's talent was undeniable. After Moscow, he was at the peak of his powers. He followed up his Olympic victory with another European Cup title in 1981 and then, in 1982, he won the European Championships in Athens. He was consistent, he was dominant, and many believed Bob Beamon's world record was within his reach. He was just 23 years old, and the future seemed limitless. The world eagerly awaited a showdown between him and the rising American star, Carl Lewis, at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. But that showdown would never happen. In retaliation for the 1980 boycott, the Soviet Union and its Eastern Bloc allies, including East Germany, announced their own boycott of the 1984 Los Angeles Games. Just like that, Dombrowski's dream of defending his Olympic title was shattered by political maneuvering. It was a devastating blow for an athlete in his prime. The chance to cement his legacy on the biggest stage, to go head-to-head with the best in the world, was stolen from him. The disappointment proved to be a turning point. Plagued by persistent injuries and disillusioned by the political interference in his career, Lutz Dombrowski made the difficult decision to retire from athletics in 1984. At the young age of 25, an era that had promised so much came to an abrupt and premature end. After his athletic career, Dombrowski's life took a different path. Following the reunification of Germany, he became a sports teacher and coach in Schwabisch Gmünd, a small town in southern Germany. He found a new purpose in mentoring the next generation, sharing his passion and knowledge of sports far from the glare of the international spotlight. In a fascinating twist, he even stood for the German parliament in 2009 as a candidate for the Left Party, showing a continued engagement with the social and political issues that had so profoundly shaped his own life. Today, Lutz Dombrowski's story serves as a powerful reminder of the intersection of sports, politics, and personal ambition. He was an athlete of immense talent who reached the absolute pinnacle of his sport, only to have his journey cut short by forces beyond his control. His 8.54-meter jump in Moscow remains an iconic moment in Olympic history, a leap that secured his place among the legends of the long jump. His career is a complex legacy, one of incredible achievement, lingering questions, and unfulfilled potential. It forces us to look beyond the medal counts and records, to understand the human story behind the headlines. Lutz Dombrowski flew closer to the sun than almost any other long jumper in history, and for one glorious moment in Moscow, he touched it. And that is a legacy that can never be taken away. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look into sports history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next one.